everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's another do-it-yourself product, and the reason I thought it would be useful is because it's that time of year where it's getting a little bit cooler, a little bit drier in the humidity stakes here, especially in the UK, where your central heating goes on, it's colder outside, you can actually feel the moisture leaving your skin. As I've told you before, I tend to get it in my knuckles. So some people get it really bad, and I've got a lot of sympathy for that, and you actually need medical help. For me, it's just about trying to get that moisture in. So when that happens, another area that so many of us can struggle with can be chapped lips. Especially, you can get it in the summer too. You can get it on holiday where it's the opposite problem. It's actually so hot that you're drying out the lips and the moisture in the lips. But there's no reason to just leave it down to bad luck and just ignore it. There's also never a reason to have your lips all dry, chapped, flaky, painful. Some people make them bleed and they pick them and you can't help it, you bite them. But that's not a good idea, especially in the long run, what it's doing to you. So please try and get out of that habit. You can use lip balms, obviously, there's lots of great ones out there. There's also lip balms that aren't really going to help you. You'll think that they're hydrating, but they're actually not. It's that false sense of hydration, but in actual fact, in the long term, you're drying them out even more. So pick some sort of moisturising lip balm, lip product that does work for you. But I thought it would be useful to remind you that a lip scrub needn't be something that you invest in that costs 10, 20, 30 pounds. Obviously, all the brands will want to sell you one, of course, that's what they do. And you might find one and think that it's absolutely gorgeous and it's for you. They can also have flavourings in them, they can have natural oils in them that taste great. Why not? But there's no need to do that if you want to do it at home. And I personally wouldn't create a lip scrub and store it. I would just make a tiny bit each time I want to use it, because it is essentially just your chosen oil and some sugar. I've got white sugar here. You just want sugar that's quite grainy. You don't want powdered sugar. You don't want fine sugar. Brown sugar, Demerara can be quite good because it's really crunchy, which means you'll get a good exfoliation. But the good thing is it's not going to hurt if you get any cuts. Salt would nip. It's not got any additional ingredients that you don't need. Lots of extra additives to prolong the shelf life. Lots of additives that you don't really need because you're doing it yourself. You've got the benefits of the oil, which is going to be hydrating, nourishing, moisturising, help to act as a bit of a barrier when you're actually in the house and the heating's on or you're outdoors. But again, you still want to look after your lips, use an SPF, things like that when you're out and about. But why not do something like this? And it can be relaxing. It can be part of your pamper routine, part of your weekly routine, or maybe when you're just feeling like you want a little bit of TLC. This is how simple it is to make. And again, I would just make enough for one application. And if there's any left over, don't waste it. Don't throw it away. Don't take it, put the tap on and let it drain down the sink. Use whatever's left. I know for me, I'll use it on my knuckles and just scrub away because it's going to be, again, just as hydrating there. So this is how easy it is. Literally just going to use the tiniest amount. So I'm going to imagine, again, it's just for the lips. Just maybe like a tablespoon. That is plenty. And then this is just normal granulated white sugar. If I had Demerara brown sugar, I would, but I've only got the, I've forgotten what it's called. The brown sugar that's quite sticky. I know it begins with M and I've completely blanked it, but it's the compacted brown sugar that's quite sticky and toffee-like. I wish I could remember, but I've forgotten right now. So, Muscovado. I knew it began with M. Muscovado, but that's not going to really do what I want it to do because it's too fine and compacted, but it's great for making a sticky toffee pudding, which I did again recently, one of my favourites. So let's use a generous teaspoon. In fact, I might not use all of that, maybe half a teaspoon, see how we get on. So what I'll do is I'll just mix it with my finger. I think half a teaspoon's actually perfect for that because you can add more if you want to. I think the teaspoon might have been too much. Yes, that's absolutely perfect. Now you can make that a little bit more oily if you want, but I'm going to show you in the back of my hand. Now I'll put the lid on this sugar because can you imagine what would happen if we tipped sugar everywhere? That's not going to go down very well with me. So we've got our oil, we've got our sugar. Obviously when you're using it as a sugar scrub on your lips, it means that it's not going to be a bad thing if you do lick your lips. But sometimes I've used scrubs in the past, quite minty ones, and they've been pleasant, but sometimes it's been pleasant bordering on a bit actually nippy and a bit too harsh. And then sometimes I've used lip scuffs, and the scuff actually didn't do much because it was almost like the grains in it of shell. Say it was like apricot grains. Don't know if it was that exactly, but the scuff was in almost like a lipstick bullet, but it just actually made the skin even drier on the lips. And then you found that you were trying very hard not to pull at the skin. So that wasn't for me. So do you see this? Now, as I've said before on previous videos, that is basically what you would buy in the kiln jars for maybe 20 odd pounds from a premium brand, but it might just have some essential oils in it, some scent. So you've done that yourself for pennies. So that would be your lip scrub. You would just put a little bit on your finger and then just work in circular motions on the lip. You can open up your mouth, you can pout your lips, you can spend a little bit of time getting over those areas. But look what I've still got left, and that was a tiny amount. So what I'll do now is just work on my knuckles, any areas that I just feel are a little bit dry. You could use it on your feet. You could use it on the full body. If you wanted to adapt it into a body scrub, you could even use some coffee granules too, because that's good for the caffeine. And then all you're going to do, because of what it is rinse it. And because it is water soluble, the sugar will dissolve. And then when you pat dry your skin, so bearing in mind I'm talking about the skin and the body now and not the lips, water soluble on the body, so the water will dissolve the sugar, and then when you pat dry, you'll still have the moisturising element of the oil. But when it's on your lips, you could just use a towel or a damp flannel and just wipe away the excess very gently. You could also splash your face if you wanted to, the choice is yours. But that's how easy that is to make. So simple. It's not, well, I'm saying it's not going to irritate. Always do your patch test in case you're super sensitive, even though that's just olive oil. Somebody will be allergic to something, so always double check. But the best thing I can say is just experiment yourself, find what works for you, find the balance. But it's just such an easy, convenient, inexpensive way to do these things. It means you've got complete control. It also means you're getting into the habit, which would be ideal, of maybe doing your lip scrub maybe once a week, once every fortnight, depending on when you need it. Don't do it too often, but you can't do too much damage with something so gentle. But I think as well, because some of us, including myself, still can't work at the moment now because mobile beauty is not allowed to work in Scotland. So let's be honest, I'm not going to be able to go out and buy everything I want because the income just simply is not there. So you're looking for ways to make things a little bit more affordable. I was talking and the camera cut out, so I quickly washed it off, and that is how it looks afterwards. I am going to use what's left here on the lips, and I've actually used it here on these drier knuckles. Don't have a problem as such, but I definitely feel that my knuckles start to dry out when the weather changes and we get into the colder months. So that's just to remind you that you can make your own products, and the lip scrub is just olive oil and sugar, or the oil of your choice. And remember, it doesn't have to be granulated sugar as in just normal white cane sugar. It could be coconut sugar, anything like that. Just got to have the grit. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's useful. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon.